Hi, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday. Sorry I'm not here again today. That's just kind of how things worked out. We're working on the road to the revolution. We've been working on this timeline, starting here with the end of the French and Indian War in 1763. And relationships between the colonies and the British Empire were good at that point, but they've started getting worse and worse and worse over a number of different laws and things that the British passed to encourage the colonists to pay for the war. And, well, you know how things eventually, taxation frustration boils over into violence in Boston. 5 residents killed by British soldiers. Yesterday in class, we found that those soldiers are found not guilty or let off easy. And, committees of correspondence are the activity we're going to do today because people in Boston, especially Samuel Adams, feel like Americans are losing their edge. So they're going to stir up problems between the British and the American colonies. We've already done the T-Act story on Monday. Well, we'll go ahead and fill in all this stuff on our timeline tomorrow. But I want us to focus on the committees of correspondence right now. We're going to do kind of like we often do in class. We're going to be the people we're learning about. So in Canvas, you have in today's Canvas, you have this. We get to the right thing quick. You have this week's Canvas. If you scroll down to Wednesday, you have an electronic version of this paper. You also have a hard copy of this. It's on the back of the secondary source we used for Boston Tea Party. But what you're doing is you're going to write a letter with with the intent of stirring people up and making people mad about the events going on in Boston, the massacre trial, where Captain Preston and most soldiers were found not guilty of murdering those 5 people, and of course the Tea Party. So the best way to get to where you're going to write this is to go to today's Canvas, and you're going to go to activity number 3, where it says write your committee of correspondence letter here. Now, when you open this up, of course yours and mine look a little bit different, but you're eventually going to get to this template. And you are going to be what Sam Adams wanted. He wanted people stirred up and angry about everything the British are doing to us in Boston. So the idea is, I'm going to reduce this to half the page and reduce this to half the page. Now, the idea is we are going to try to be the people that we're learning about, writing about the events going on in Boston that are making people so upset. And we want others to be just as upset as we are. So here we go. We've got this all stretched out now. And we're going to make this about 75%, so it pretty much all fits on one page. So here's the idea. Committees of correspondence are formed to write letters from one colony to another. Letters are asking people to be just as upset about what's going on in Boston as we are in Boston. So the guidelines about writing this letter: you're going to introduce yourself and your purpose for writing this letter. That goes in box number 1 right here, where it says, in this box, introduce yourself and tell why you're writing the letter. If you are going to write, because Mr. Clark's making me write this letter. No. We're writing this because we're a committee of correspondence and we're mad and we want everyone else to be mad just like we are. Number 2 item here, you're going to tell the story of what's been going on in Boston with the massacre trial, and the Tea Party. Well, that's what this box is about. Whoops, on your document, where it says, in this box, inform your audience what's been happening in Boston, including the story of the massacre, the trial, and the Tea Party. Third thing, of course, you want action from the people you're writing to. You're going to conclude your letter by asking your audience to be just as angry as you are about these events. That's what box number 3 here is all about, asking your audience to be angry. Now, you want to finish your letter by signing your name. That is item number 4, and that's down here. In this box, sign your name. Now, remember, we're a committee of correspondence. We are writing from the colonist perspective. You don't really want to be fair to the British. They are the enemy. They're the ones causing all the problems in the American view. You can exaggerate a little. I think I spelled exaggerate right. You can exaggerate a little. Don't get too carried away about how terrible the British are treating us, because no one will believe you. So that's what you're doing for your committee of correspondence. You're doing this sort of like we do today with our social media. All this stuff happens at school. We go home, we get online or we get on our phone, and we yap about what's going on. Well, that's kind of what we're doing here. What Samuel Adams was having people do is kind of a precursor of what we do now. All right. So I did have on here a 100-word minimum, just to remind you. That will be fairly easy if you're given a good description of the massacre, the trial, and the Tea Party. And if you're saying, oh, gee, it's been a while since we did the massacre last Thursday and the Tea Party on Monday and the trial on Wednesday. Well, on the front table, there are copies of the artwork we've used. There's also copies of the plays we've used. That could help you with some details if you need those, or names of people and stuff like that. Also, you can look online. Just be careful that you're not just copying and pasting what you find on somebody's website. When you finish your committee correspondence letter, make sure you submit it, and all will be well. I will see you all on Thursday.